The Premier League is finally back, and it is kicking off with a London derby between Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park hosting Arsenal. And this is the perfect way to start the season. Two very good London-based clubs with a lot of signings to show off. Cheick Doucouré all the way to Gabriel Jesus and Fabio Vieira. And it is going to be a very exciting matchup. Unfortunately, there is a lot of injuries to a lot of key players on both outfits, like the Kieran Tierney, Emile Smith-Rowe, Sam Johnston, but there's going to be some great names to be shown. But this is a exciting way to start the season. We're going to dive straight into it with the match preview. Before we do, guys, make sure to sub button below, drop a like, and let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about this matchup and the new starts to the Premier League season and what you guys think will be happening this year. We're going to jump straight back into the news. And this is going to be an exciting matchup because, of course, Crystal Palace really dominated this matchup last year, where they did manage in April to get that 3-0 victory over Arsenal at Selhurst Park, which was a massive win and really stunted Arsenal's top 4 run. And, of course, that 2-2 draw earlier in the season at the Emirates, which was much deserved. Crystal Palace had a brilliant year under the first season under Patrick Vieira. I think this year it's going to continue. This season is going to be a brilliant season for Vieira's Army, but unfortunately they had a very poor preseason. Of course, we know how that split. They had half the squad go to Australia and half the squad stayed back in England and were forced to really play games separately and not really gel, because when you bring in new signings, you want to gel, you want to get them together, and you want to really learn the rhythm. But this Crystal Palace side weren't able to, but they still have some brilliant signings, and they still would have got the gel in preseason together. But there's also injuries going on for both sides, and it is a very interesting time because there is a lot of key injuries to a side like Crystal Palace, as James McArthur, James Tompkins, and Michael Olise are out for Crystal Palace, while we have Sam Johnston, the new goalkeeper, is also sidelined, who picked up an injury in preseason. So it's a couple huge injuries there for Crystal Palace. Really, James McArthur and James Tompkins, not so much, but Michael Olise is a big loss for Crystal Palace, as he is a big name player now for them, a great young talent coming through the ranks, and a very exciting player to keep your eye out on, because he is a guy who can really take the ball by his feet and really light up the spark, dribble with the ball, create a nice counterattack. Michael Olise on one flank with, of course, Wilfried Zaha on the other, with Ibrahim Eze up there as well. Eze is a very exciting talent who I'm excited to see this year after that sad injury he did have. That front three is going to be very exciting, of course, with Hudson-Odoi. This is a great Crystal Palace side. And of course, there is that sad loss, Conor Gallagher, and it's going to be interesting to see how Crystal Palace cope in the first game of the season without him. And I think they're going to cope quite fine, because with Cheick Doucouré coming in, he's probably going to make his debut, and he's going to be the perfect man to replace him. What we got from Conor Gallagher was a lot of heart, desire, willing to work rate and teamwork, and just to work his backside off the whole entire match. Cheick Doucouré runs himself into the ground every single game. He is a very diligent worker and a very good provider of the ball. But one thing he won't provide is as much goals as Conor Gallagher did, and the running into the box that he did have. Conor Gallagher did provide a lot of goals and assists with beautiful left foot. He had a wand, and he scored some brilliant goals last season. But Cheick Doucouré probably won't be doing that side of the game for Crystal Palace. He will be doing the cleanup work, the box-to-box midfielding work, and really providing the nice passing, and also cleaning up the work in the midfield. He's a dog, and he will clean up a lot. And of course, Arsenal have a very interesting time going into this matchup as well. Like I said, they didn't have the upper hand over Crystal Palace last year. Patrick Vieira got the upper hand over his old club. Mikel Arteta needs to try and figure out how to swing things going into this season. It's a tough matchup to play Crystal Palace in the first game of the season. We're a very strong team defensively, of course, with Guy and Anderson, and they've also added that with Omar Richards. And this is going to be an interesting game for Mikel Arteta, as he did really not get much out of this last year. Only a point out of 2 games against Crystal Palace, but he does have some really key injuries that are going to set him back this game as well. Of course, the likes of Tomiyasu's out injured, Kieran Tierney, who never seems to be fit, and you got Emile Smith-Rowe, who are all reportedly to be a doubt for the Gunners. And this is going to be interesting, as Tierney really can't stay fit, but bringing in Zinchenko was a perfect fit, and he already knows Mikel Arteta's system and setup, and he is a perfect setup for Arteta. And of course, there's a lot of new signings on show for Mikel Arteta as well. You have the likes of Fabio Vieira, you have the likes of Zinchenko, You have also Gabriel Jesus, who is the man on show. I have him in my FPL team. Cross my fingers he can do something this match because I need him to get some points from me. But I'm also begging for Crystal Palace's game. I'm a Eagles fan. I can't deny. They're my second team in the Premier League. But this is going to be an interesting matchup. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Gabriel Jesus can suit into a new role. Because, of course, we all know Gabriel Jesus was playing that right wing role at Manchester City last year. He very much enjoyed playing on the flank, cutting in, dribbling, attacking defenders, 1v1. But playing down the middle, it's a different game for him. I think he's a very much a Arsenal player. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a great signing. And it's never going to put me off. But Gabriel Jesus playing down the middle is a lot different than him playing on the right wing for Manchester City. I don't have my doubts, but I think it's a very interesting switch because, of course, Arsenal don't really have that out-and-out number 9. Yes, they could play Eddie Nketiah, who did show signs of it last year and was quite brilliant towards the end of the season last year. But will Gabriel Jesus be able to do it down the number 9 role? I don't know, but I really do think he will be able to. I think he has the instincts. I think he can make the run down the channel. It's just, is that his true desired position, or will he be playing out of position? Is that really where he wants to be playing? Is he going to be frustrated with that? Because yes, we all know he wants that right wing position. He did play there with Pep Guardiola, and that was where he did enjoy playing his football. So it will be very interesting to see. But Arsenal do have a lot of key injuries. They were really behind the ball last year against Crystal Palace, as Crystal Palace did manage to get the upper hand on them last year, and Patrick Vieira has brought in some brilliant signings. Like I said, Cheick Doucouré, Sam Johnson sadly won't be able to start this match, but you have Vicente Guaita, who is a phenomenal goalkeeper and is very, very underrated. And I think the Eagles are definitely going to come out on top in this one. For me, I think Crystal Palace is going to win this game. I'm not sure what the score was. If we're going to throw out a score, I'm going to say 2-0, 2-1. I think it's not going to be too high of a scoring. I think it's going to be a very exciting matchup. And I think this is going to be a great way to start the Premier League season. I don't think you can go wrong with a matchup like this. And Crystal Palace, a London derby, what can you ask for more? Of course, last year we saw Brentford get that exciting win in the first game of the season last year. And that was just a perfect way for them to start off. I think Crystal Palace are going to do it this year as well. And Crystal Palace are going to win this match against Arsenal this year and get the upper hand over Mikel Arteta and start a great season for the Eagles. But guys, of course, I am switching all my content to the Premier League, as you guys have noticed. Make sure to go check out my video on the predictions for the table. I tried to sum it up as much as I could. It's a bit of a longer video. If you guys check it out, it means the world to me. Make sure to hit that sub button down below. It really means a lot to me, guys. I'm trying to get back on the grind again. I was busy for a couple weeks. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about the transfers going on, what Premier League videos you might want to see. We're going to have a lot of previews, reactions, player videos coming up as well, player analysis, and of course videos around all of the transfer news and what teams are going to be looking like after this window. So guys, stay tuned for all the best Premier League content on the channel, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.